Hey guys, what's up? Hey man, Jared here, doing another commentary. I know it's been a while. I think the last one I did was the first impressions of Star Wars. And so I bought the game. I've been playing it a lot lately, and I wanted to do another commentary about it because there seems to be a lot of strong opinions floating around the forums and stuff, and I kind of wanted to discuss my thoughts on some of those matters. And I know it's been a while since I've done a commentary. I've been kind of busy with the holidays and Christmas and stuff like that. I did get a new mic. You may be able to tell it might sound a little bit different than my other commentaries. Hopefully it's a little clearer. It picks up a lot of background noise, so I'll try not to touch anything while I'm saying this because it's pretty loud. But so I'll get right into it here. Some people about the new Star Wars MMO, they're saying that the graphics are kind of crappy, and while I agree the graphics aren't, spectacular or breathtaking, I think they work just fine for an MMO. The skill effects and the spell effects and the lighting in the game seem to stand out with the graphic style, like the glows and stuff like that. All that looks really good. The space battle explosions look pretty cool. That stuff looks good. The textures, character models, and animations though could probably use a little bit of improving, but I don't think the graphics are terrible for an MMO. The world, people are complaining that the world feels dead. People keep saying how they feel like they're playing by themselves, and I guess it's probably because the game is instanced a lot. Would be my guess. In games like WoW and stuff like that, it's just one big instance outside of dungeons and stuff like that, and BGs, and everyone's kind of playing in the same area. But in Star Wars, if you're not familiar with instancing, if you're on planet Hoth, let's say, there could be Hoth 1, Hoth 2, Hoth 3, all those separate instances that players get split up into to, I'm guessing, reduce lag in the game and stuff like that. So a lot of MMOs do instancing and some don't. So it's kind of, I don't know. It kind of bothers me too a little bit. I kind of wish they didn't do the instancing, but it's not that bad. I seem to run into quite a few people when I play, so I don't really see it being a problem, but it upsets some people. Other than that, I don't really know why people are complaining that the worlds feel dead. That'd be the only thing that I could think of. The population seems pretty high right now. A lot of people are complaining about the customization of the UE, that there isn't really much, and I completely agree with the fact that it's frustrating that you can't customize the UE. I don't think it's a horrible interface. I think it works fine. It gets done what it needs to get done. I don't think it's missing too much other than the combat log, which is kind of retarded, I'll admit. They should have included a combat log in the game, but it's not terrible. And kind of on the same subject as mods, I think that the game is going to have to allow support for mods. I think there's a specific player base, almost like the hardcore MMO players, you could call them, that they put their beliefs in their mods, whether they really need them or not. They won't even probably play a game if it doesn't allow you to mod the UE or whatever, however you want to do it, so they have an edge up on people in PvP and stuff. At least they think they do, and that's they're probably going to lose players, and quite a few of them, if they don't allow mods in the future. I like the healing mods back in WoW, where you could just right-click on someone's nameplate or something, and then it would heal. That made healing a lot easier, so that would be nice too, to have something like that in there. And then kind of like the main thing I want to talk about was a lot of people are complaining that it feels like a single-player game, not an MMO. And I can kind of see where they're coming from in that, but I think a lot of people are kind of stuck in their ways, a little stubborn, from the other games they've played, like WoW and stuff like that. And just because it's not the same as that doesn't really make it much less of a good game. I actually find this complaint kind of funny because I remember when Star Wars was first announced and the first trailers came out and stuff, that everyone was kind of pissed off that it wasn't an MMO. They wanted it to be like a single player sequel, a true sequel to KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, and everyone was all upset about that. But so I think that's kind of funny, but nevertheless, their argument is backed up by the fact that the world is instant. You have NPC companions that can make the game a little bit easier for you. A lot of the heroic missions can be done just you and your companion if you know what you're doing, or if you're a couple levels above the designated level for that quest. I don't know about the end game content. I still haven't got that far. I haven't heard much about it, so I'm assuming there isn't much to do there, so maybe that could be a complaint as well for people. But I personally feel, like I was saying, people are being just a little bit too stubborn, a little bit stuck in their ways based on typical popular MMOs. And they want everything to be, they want everything that's included in an MMO like WoW to be included in a game like Star Wars. And the fact is that it doesn't work that way. They're completely two different games. They are both MMOs, yes, but I think the developers for the Star Wars MMO had a much different goal in mind, or a different feel, I guess you could say. A lot of people are saying it's WoW in space, and it's not. It's, if you actually play the game, it's nothing like WoW. I don't know why people keep saying that, but I kind of picture these people like spoiled kids who are just crying because they didn't get all the special features that they wanted from the other game or whatever, and it's just kind of, it's stupid in my opinion, just kind of dumb. I mean, Rift got pretty close. Rift, they were pretty much a WoW clone, or they tried really hard to make it just like WoW, and people still complain about every little thing in that game, and the subscribers are pretty much going downward as far as I know for Rift, so it didn't really succeed being a complete clone. So I think if people can kind of get past that stubbornness and just look at Star Wars for the game that it is, and accept it for that, and actually enjoy it, they might actually get a little bit more enjoyment out of the game. When I bought Star Wars, I kind of went into the game just wanting to experience the story, and to experience the story inside of an MMO, which I've never done. And WoW, I didn't pay attention to the story. In any of the MMOs I've played, I've never paid attention to the story. All I want to do is quest, grind, get XP, level up, get gear, get good, blah, blah, blah. I don't have any of those goals in Star Wars. I rarely even care about what I'm actually doing other than the story. I enjoy listening to the NPCs, their history, their background, the goals they want you to complete, their reaction, whether you fail the quest, or I mean, you can't really fail it, but whether you do it the way they want you to, or you do it against their goals in mind, and all that stuff really makes it a lot more interesting to me to play than something like WoW or something. It's kind of like playing like an RPG in an MMO is how I would describe it. The story really seems to progress at a good pace with interesting, twists and turns and stuff that seems like Bioware really tried to keep you captivated and wanting to keep playing based on the story, and it works for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, but I think if people would open up to the idea of it being more of an RPG than a traditional MMO, that they would really enjoy the game a lot more. And like I was saying, I sort of view the game as a multiplayer story, based RPG rather than, also includes like the dungeons and the PvP bonus. It's kind of like I guess you could call it like a game that has the basics of a good MMO wrapped around a great RPG experience type of thing. And it may be a great MMO someday, but it's a great RPG now, and I wouldn't pass up the opportunity to play it just because of some of the complaints out there. But that's all I guess I really wanted to discuss about the game right now. I've been doing a lot of thinking about what I want to do with my channel. I'll probably do some Battlefield 3 commentaries coming up here, maybe a little bit more Star Wars. I still want to do a Skyrim review, but I still haven't beat that game because it's endless, so hopefully I'll get that done one of these days. But I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, like, or, comment on these videos. You can check out the channel at youtube.com/hitmanjaret. I also have a Twitter at twitter.com/hitmanjaret, and then a facebook.com/hitmanjaret. You can check out any of that stuff, follow, like, whatever. I would appreciate it. And I'm also doing an indie game. I don't know if I've ever talked about this before. My brother and I are working on an Xbox Live indie game that should be out here in the next couple months, hopefully, on the Xbox Live indie place. And I might start doing a separate channel for our indie games and our development process there. So if I start to do that, I might not post to the Hitman Jaret channel as regularly, but we'll see. I was just kind of letting you know about that. So thanks for watching again, and I will see you guys next time.